So by the way, RPG Maker. But let's see how focused I actually get in this video, because yeah, if you saw the previous episodes, boy, I was struggling for the life of me. But as we get Katak and 7th Curse, and I actually need to remember my backstory this time, even though it's only been literal like an hour, literally only an hour or two since I did the last recording. I don't actually know who I got. I'm just gonna say Ayaka, but I need to make sure I'm not going in the right direction, by the way. We are in 7th Curse. I almost said Colt. Yeah, so 7th Curse, cut that. Oh my goodness. Well, and in we go, I guess, no matter what. So as we go into Katak 7th Curse with playing with Ayaka, I did not say that correctly. Basically, I mean, if I have to focus on the game, I will. Just so that this video doesn't, so that this video doesn't end early. Second encounter, oh no, second mystery, I'm going crazy. Knowledge, strength, Taxi-san, light, and maybe a dexterity check. It is literally the middle of the day. I don't know why I'm like this. That being said, we should have at least 8 strength and or dexterity by the end of this run, but we'll find out. So dependent on our mysteries, we will want to limit the number of history club uses that... We'll just limit the number of history club uses. Or checks, anyway. Nails, Recluse, Sailors, Auteur, and Piano. So, we do need to deal with Recluse first. Auteur can wait, but if we fight the boss there, it could be bad. But then we also have Nails, which is a guaranteed boss. So, for the sake of guaranteed bosses, let's take... Nails. I'm going absolutely insane. Anyway, into the History Club we go. We are looking for one of 2 things. Ghostly Spirit would be interesting, but Blood Mania is literally sitting right here. And then we tree twice for funds. If for no other reason that I want to get curses, but getting extra packs of cigarettes would be interesting as well. So, yeah, in we go. So 1 pack, 2 pack, no more packs actually, so off we go. Again, for anyone who hasn't seen an Ayaka run, because it has been a while since I recorded an Ayaka video or an Ayaka run, basically you just stack your curses and don't use weapons, because all the doom that you would have spent getting a weapon would probably have already been spent, as we get an energy drink, getting Blood Mania. Or if you really want to cope, Eldritch Possession, which increases your stats, proportionally to the number of curses you have. I forgot the exact rate, but essentially every 2 curses you get about 1 in each stat, which is gonna stack up over the course of the whole run, because overall you'll probably get 10 unless you remove 1 or 2 curses. Even then, you will have about +5 in every stat by the end of the run. So those 2, so either Blood Frenzy and Eldritch Possession are the perks you want with Ayaka. Don't need to get a weapon. If you get a weapon because of an event, then, well, yeah, that's cool, but otherwise you don't need it. Now, that being said, note that I have 4 curses, but I still can't do 4 kicks. That being said, each kick is doing 5 damage, so it's not like we needed 4 kicks anyway, but for RNG's sake, it's usually better to have more attacks, in Ayaka's specific case. But as we get a brick, and we might as well equip it, because, well, better to use a weapon than none at all, 90% of the time. Let's fight this. Also, I did not check the police station, but it's fine. You know what? I might actually save... I might save Recluse for 3rd. And the reason I'm doing that is so that maybe I can find Eldritch Possession. And keeping in mind that because we have Recluse in this run, our Doom increase is not going to be as high unless Time Skip just slaps us on the face there, which it did. But, aside from that, even with that, we should relatively be okay. In fact, I'm even going to... In fact, I could take Recluse now. Yeah, let's take Recluse now. Because even if we have to kick the boss of Recluse, if nothing else, which... we should be able to do 4 at this point. 4 Sever Kicks, but I guess we'll see. Because if I recall correctly, Blood Mania affects every action and not just offensive actions. Oh, combat. Well, yeah, every... We'll see. And if it does, yeah, Ayaka's really great when she has Blood Mania. That's all I'm trying to say. I could also pop this pack of cigarettes, but we don't really need to. And in case anyone forgot, yeah, you do get 2 experience for just doing an investigation, unless, of course, you run into an enemy encounter, I think. But, anywho, let's heal stamina, funny enough, because our stats will all increase by the time we finish this. Could have increased knowledge to get extra damage off of Sever, but we don't particularly need it. Shrug. Now, that being said, as you just saw right there, that was a good event to showcase that Ayaka's luck will never increase, but luck is by far not 99% of the time at minimum. You don't need to worry about your luck being low or even negative. So, let's find out what we can do with Sever. No. Oh, that's right, because we are using the brick. In fact, we're going to throw the brick so we can do more damage with our kicks, funny enough. But right afterward, yeah. Well, these are 2 damage. Oh, it would have been 3 damage if we had 8 knowledge, but because we don't, I would rather still Sever kick like this. Do I actually? No, I don't, because we get more damage per... Well, if I throw the empty bottle, we can save a bit more, but you know what? At this point, it doesn't really matter. I didn't mean to brace there. No! It saved my thingy-majiggy. No, it's fine for the moment. We are now sinking, so drenched is possible in seaside locations. I think I just accidentally changed the window size of World of Horror, so that's going to be interesting to see. But if it changes, it shouldn't be so much. In fact, I think I still have like black bars going horizontally on the top and bottom of the screen. But anywho, Sailors is going to be last, so as I mentioned earlier, we'll take Pliano now for the sake of guaranteed bosses. That being said, I never entered the police station, so let's do that now. Would have been great to do it earlier because Nails takes us into the school a lot, if I recall correctly. Am I going crazy? Well, anywho. What did we just get? We got another stack of... No, what did we get? What curses did we get? It shows up before the thing. So, Suicidal and Hallucinations, I think, is what we got. Neither of which are completely terrible, although Suicidal has that proc chance of hurting our other HP. I always forget if it's Stamina to Reason or Reason to Stamina. But anywho. Let's drink this bottle of water and store the empty bottle. So, just to note really quickly as well, with Ayaka, while you can equip this Onyx Medallion, it is essentially holding up a spot in your inventory. So, for example, if I wanted to equip the Demon Mask instead, I would have to unequip the Onyx Medallion, and then my inventory doesn't have space. But you get the point. It does take up space. That's a very, 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 very small negative, though. Well, probably 2 varies at most, but you get the point. It's not normally a negative because Blood Mania does so much for you, but it is still a negative, objectively speaking. So, in knowledge, right? Nope. I think we should survive, even if we lose so much reason. The question is whether or not we one-shot the boss. Well, now we don't need to worry as much. That's interesting to know, although I don't know for sure if Yasugi can proc right after you lose reason when you hit the investigation button. But anyway, yeah, as you can see, our kicks do 10 damage per. So yeah. Now that being said, there is, well, if at worst you'll usually break even if you take too many below average for your sake, for your health curses. But if you get a lot of stacking curses, it can become really bad. The worst obvious one of the worst obviously is that you end up taking too many stat reduction perks and you immediately 0 stat, but that's a different question all entirely. So, do I just want to bet the farm here? No, let's brace just to be sure. We'll brace and do 2 kicks. And while these kicks are not guaranteed because I have panic, right? Yeah. Which can stack if I recall correctly, but we get 20 damage guaranteed per turn minimum. And if I want, I could get 30 damage at 90%, but you get the point. So, let's move onward here. I forgot to take out the empty bottle, but stamina is by far the thing I'm worried about the most. So, we are going to take Reason while we take Charisma, and with this said, we should have enough curses to 8 in every Lighthouse stat. Obviously, Perception is going to be lower because we have Hallucination stacking, but it's not so bad. Now, when the game rolls 9 as well, I mean, aside from knowledge, stats don't matter still. Unfortunately here, yeah, succeeding these checks increases our doom, but for the follow-up events, being able to pass them is pretty nice. Shrug, that's all I have to say at the moment. Should really sell or store these lucky earrings, so we'll get it removed. Nope, because luck is now at 1. But we can grab 2 packs of cigarettes, and that should last us the entire run. I did forget my second encounter, by the way, so I have to be a little conscious of doom. But the fact that Recluse exists here, and since we didn't even get Ayaka's second... Wow, rolled a 1 there. Hey, RNG's turning around, maybe. But yeah, getting Doom Effigy with Ayaka Although it's not the most amount of Doom, it will help out immensely, yeah. So we wanted to fail that, and we want to succeed this. Saves us a lot of resources. But anywho. Double Nurses, we might be able to one-shot this. Oh, we're definitely able to one-shot this at a good chance, so let's find out. Okay, if we missed like 3 of those attacks, I would have been very sad. But anywho. Off we go. Doom effigy? Yeah! Now, I don't remember exactly how much Doom we get, but we'll be okay. In fact, I could get rid of one of these fungal growths because it is hurting me a bit. We'll use the free version, that way we don't lose stamina. Because being able to guarantee 22 damage a turn is usually more than what we need. Even if we're going to even if we end up taking extra damage because we run into a boss at the end of our tour here. I am saying that right. I've been saying it right this whole time, right? You pronounce it Autor, the mystery name. But anywho. There's not much we can do. And let's think this through and fail. Because 5+ Doom. So, forget what I just said. Entering our last mystery with 73% Doom. Yeah, I was supposed to check how much Doom effigy was decreasing our Doom by. It's relative to the number of curses as well, but hey. Double Blood Frenzy. That's real interesting as well, but since we're able to one-shot, I think that can only help us at the moment, but we'll find out. Basically, we've we've increased our damage by an extra 3 instead of just 2 for 2 Blood Frenzies. That was 2 Blood Frenzies back to back, right? It was. So, our luck is bad, so we're just going to take a walk. But we're going to visit the monument because we're topped off, quote-unquote, on stamina and reason anyway. And if we can keep trading funds, that would be nice. Because that on top of Doom effigy should mean that I don't need to worry about any Doom in the lighthouse. In fact, burning the book in the mansion in that event is also going to help us out immensely. Doom decreasing by 3 is quite a lot, basically, is what I'm trying to say. If for no other reason, then remember, as we go into Sailors here, that's right, but we don't really need to worry. Yeah, not Sailors. What am I trying to say? The Occult Diary is an item that lowers Doom by 3. Period. So, as we move on here, we really don't need it. Like, we can just cruise through the rest of this mystery. That being said, as I always say, Ayaka's biggest trouble is the fact that you have to get Blood Mania. So yeah, early game, but really it's stat checks. But also the fact that, yeah, at the very beginning, she can't really pass stat checks, and she has trouble with combat until you can at least get Blood Mania. Even with just 2 curses, it does quite a lot to help you survive the run, getting Blood Mania. So, yeah, that's the prerequisite for her to become a okay character, because then you don't need to get weapons, which saves you Doom on Harbinger of Doom difficulty. And then right after that, I keep forgetting. I mean, obviously Future Jordan can check, but we did Recluse second. But yeah, after that, most of the time, unless you get bad RNG, like you get like 4 flashback curses in a row, you just continue to fail every single stat check, even though you get Eldritch Possession with 6 curses, so on and so forth. Yeah, unless that happens, you're cruising to the end on Harbinger of Doom difficulty. But even then, most of the time, like 75% of the time-ish, I would still prefer playing as Toshiaki than Ayaka. The 50% Doom is just so valuable. That being said, if Ayaka gets all of her 3 perks before her 3rd mystery, that's also quite a bit of Doom, even if it'll be only anywhere from 10 to 20%. But yeah, I didn't talk about RPG Maker at all, because Ayaka is just so cool to play when she gets rolling. But yeah, without further ado, if you want me to hear me talk about something specifically, usually just shout out in the comment section, and I will make sure to focus more on that topic. Unless I can't talk about it for whatever reason, whether I'm not knowledgeable, or maybe I just can't or don't want to talk about something. But otherwise, I won't take up much more of your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!